In a world where laughter was king.
No in a world, Jack.
What do you mean, no in a world?
It's not that kind of movie.
Oh? Okay. In a land that...
No in a land either.
In a time...
Nah, I don't think so.
In a land before time.
It's about a comedian, Jack.
One man.
No.
When your life is no longer your own.
What does that mean?
When everything you know is wrong.
That's wrong.
In an outpost.
No.
On the edge of space.
There's no space.
A girl.
No.
Two girls.
No.
Now.
No.
More than ever.
Stop it.
A renegade cop.
I hate you.
A robot renegade cop.
You're fired.
You're fired.
No, you're actually fired.
I'm fired.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.
It's good to see you. I must go. I know I will go.
Hold him. Now you listen to me, you hillbilly punk who thinks the world's still round. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's flat.
He's an interesting guy, man, and he believes it. So, Kyrie, the Earth is flat, right? Yeah. So, whatever. That's news. That's news. Here we go.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked ones obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship currently winning the war with the mainstream scientific community. Meanwhile, the Peanut Gallery is deep in paperwork, writing down all the media coverage of Flat Earth, from National Geographic to all the news covering Stephen Curry. Even Fox News brought it up, Flat Earth today. Can one person even keep track of this expanding question to find the truth? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Check it out at enclosedworld.com or just Google Flat Earth Clues. If you can't find it, well, you're not very good at the internet. For those of you listening to this on YouTube, you want to hear the show live. As it happens, please go to Truth Frequency Radio for the latest schedule. Currently, the show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And yes, Caroline, if it is not December 11th, 2018, I'm staring right at the calendar so I don't screw it up this time. Say it's like February of next year. Then you're listening to a rerun, if that's not the date. Quote of the day from the Peanut Gallery goes exactly like this. When asked if the shape of the world is a sphere, Socrates replied, "It didn't bend so much." And I don't have to actually say who it was because it's actually in the title of the quote. The Mark Sargent 2018 Flat Earth Challenge is in effect. This is my personal declaration of war from Flat Earth against mainstream science. I, Mark Sargent, hereby put forth a challenge to any university, foreign or domestic, to loan me a NASA-approved self-contained spacesuit, put me in a vacuum chamber, and pull the switch. For more information on this, please check out Flat Earth Clues number 13, The Lost Nail. Okay, we are going to do a call-in show tonight. I know there's people lining up already, so let's give out the number, and then I'll do a few little announcements, and then we'll get right to it. The phone number to call in is 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. Of course, the old number still works, and that's 720-897-6111. If you're in the UK, don't forget the country code and then dial 44203-393-2871. And if you're calling just to listen and you don't want me to pick you up and embarrass you, and I won't, that is 605-472-9131. Okay. Announcements real quick. First off, I'd like to do a public thank you to DITRH for sending me a lovely Flat Earth holiday card. I know it's a radio thing, so you guys can't see it, but it's got a black front, and it says at the top, "Let me tell you a story." And then there are 5 images down below. One is Santa Claus, one is the globe, one is the Tooth Fairy, one is the Apollo program, and one is the Easter Bunny. And then below that it says, "Season's greetings to all. Cheers and much love, Dave and Paige." And on the backside, it's a picture of them, and it says, "Long live Flat Earth, Dave and Paige." It's awesome. Thank you very much for that. And also, he sent me a new version of the sticker, which is FE. So it's like one of those European stickers you see on the back of cars. It says, "The Earth is flat, FE. Visit theflatearthpodcast.com." Cool. Thank you. And I will use those. I will put the postcard up on my fridge. Well, it's not really a postcard. Actually, it is a postcard. Kind of. It can be used as a postcard. And I'll put the sticker on my traveling bag. So, what else? National Geographic Explorer, which we will talk about sometime during the show, I'm sure. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, and it's going to take me a while to figure out how to put it up online. I've tried to distort it all sorts of different ways. National Geographic is a stickler when it comes to blocking videos. Now, they don't throw out copyright strikes, but they will. They'll just block the video in the United States and the Virgin Islands, which is weird. It's not blocked in Canada. It's not blocked in the UK, but it's definitely blocked in the United States if you put up the segment. So what am I talking about? The show, and if you guys have cable, you can look it up on the show is called National Geographic Explorer, and it's on the channel National Geographic. And it is the long-awaited footage from the Salton Sea, which we shot at the end of the summer this year. And it took them for a long time to finally release it. And now I heard from different people that it was going to be released before the conference and then the week of the conference. And now here we are. It was released yesterday. So check it out if you get a chance. It's only about a 10-minute segment, but it's chock full of National Geographic Flat Earth hatred. They hate us. And in fact, if you guys have listened to anything I've done over the last couple of months, you know that they ask questions that nobody else asked. You know, what happens when Flat Earth ruins the world? Basically, what happens when Flat Earth ushers in a new dark age? That we are a complete danger to science. And yeah, I mean, look, out of all the channels that are out there, National Geographic does support science more than just about anyone. Remember, when it was just the magazine years ago, they were like the biggest supporter of the Apollo program and NASA. They were like thick as thieves, those two. And so, yeah, they have a vested interest to try to make Flat Earth look bad. And they did what they could, but there wasn't much they could do. You'll know when you watch the footage. In fact, we will talk about it a little bit later. And let me see here. Peanut Gallery is chiming in with what? Sorry, you guys got to know that most of the time I ignore his comments, but tonight I'm not going to. Teen Boy's Dream magazine. Well, yeah, because National Geographic would show nude people from overseas. And actually, National Geographic could get away with nudity, but it couldn't be explicit, that sort of stuff. But we'll talk about maybe between calls, we'll talk about the National Geographic in detail, because I've got somebody ripped it for me, and so I've got it on my machine. If you want it, I suggest you wait for a little while. Don't ask me for it. If for whatever reason we can't get it up on YouTube, then by all means ask me, and I've shrunk a version down to about 300 megs, and I can send it off in about 8 minutes through WeTransfer. What else did I have for the announcements? Oh yeah, the BehindTheCurveFilm.com. The last of the documentaries or the last of the showings for the documentary is going to be coming up shortly. It's the last one. I think it's in San Francisco. Hang on. And of course, you can get it on streaming on Amazon Prime and iTunes and Google Play. And let's see, behind, one second. Forgive me. Behind the Curve. Behind the Curve. So BehindTheCurveFilm.com. I'm sorry, I have to do this for you guys. It's played the last time, I'll do it. And the last screening is going to be December 12th. Yeah, it's tomorrow night at the Thunder Bay Public Library in... Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's not San Francisco. That one already came and went. In Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. It's part of the Hot Docs Showcase, which is fantastic. Remember, it's going to end the whole film festival thing where it started. It premiered in Toronto back in April, and now it's going to finish with its encore performance tomorrow, which will be fantastic. So 21 film festivals in 7 countries. Awesome. So happy for them. And again, if you want to flat smack somebody, I highly recommend you show this to them because it will catch them off guard. And, sorry, there was one other thing I want to mention. Again, we'll talk about it in a little bit, which is the headlines. Not only were we on Fox News today, but that story originated from another NBA player. So you guys remember last year when Kyrie Irving from the Cleveland Cavaliers, who now went to the Boston Celtics, he became a flat earther. Steph Curry, otherwise known as Stephen Curry, it's spelled Stephen or Stefan, however you want to say it, one of the top 5 players in the NBA. He plays for Golden State Warriors. He came out and said he believes the moon landing was a hoax, and said it during an audio interview. And the media just lit him up, which is great, to the point where even NASA responded and said that, oh, yeah, we'll show you some moon rocks and prove to you that we actually went to the moon. Because you can show people moon rocks and tell them they're moon rocks, and they're going to. I don't think you're going to be changing his mind anytime soon. Okay, that's it for the announcements. So let's get right to it. We'll start from the top in the order received. And yes, I see 916 and 651 and 530 and 214 and 954. So let's grab 520, I believe. 520, you're on with Strange World. Let's see what happens with our audio tonight. Can you hear me? And I'll let you know if we get cut off.
All right. Hey, this ain't Paul on the plane?
Hey, that's funny. That's good. What are you saying? Because Paul on the plane has 2 hours now. He just goes all night. Is that what you're asking?
No, I don't know if you guys listen to each other's podcasts, but I guess I looked at my clock wrong. I thought you were.
Are you serious? You really thought you were calling Paul on the plane? Oh, you're killing me. If Paul's listening,
well, no. I know who I'm calling, Mark. Yeah. I'm saying I called in to your show too early, and I got picked up on the other show, and I'm like, wait a minute. Who is this? He goes, this is Paul on the plane. I'm like, oh, man, remind me what you did again.
Oh, no.
It kind of just caught me off guard. So that kind of caught me off guard.
Paul really appreciates that, I'm sure. Yeah,
I can only be honest, man. If it had been D. Marble, Patricia, Dave, anybody, I could have had a ground reference because I, followed you guys a bit. But Paul on the plane, I could not remember what he was. I just couldn't remember. But anyway, I was pretty excited to watch the show last night on the National Geographic, and I actually had it on when my lady friend came over, and I was like, well, this will be interesting because I can just leave it on. And she came in. She goes, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Oh, the National Geographic Channel." I love the National Geographic Channel, right? So. And that comes on. She's just looking. She actually came over to cut my hair, and then I couldn't hear it because she was cutting my hair. And I was like, couldn't find that. So I really didn't know how it went, but I thought what I did see didn't seem too bad, but I didn't really get to hear it all, Mark. So I'm kind of bummed out about that.
Okay.
And I'm assuming it'll.
I will break it down for you really quickly. Okay, so I'll cue it up, and I'll turn the volume down on my machine so that so nobody can hear it in the background. And so it intros, with Phil Coagan, and then he's kind of giving an intro on the whole flat Earth thing, and then they show a whole bunch of images of NASA, and then they go to the meetup in Arcadia, where this thing was started, and the woman who was the on-air correspondent, she does the introduction, and they show some overshots of the meetup, and we had like 100 people there at that particular meetup in Los Angeles, which was really great. And then
I remember watching the video.
And then I'm skipping forward. And then they introduce me. Lucy Lemons is in it, and Alex is in it, and then They pretend to meet me. It's a staged meeting where it's like, I'm gonna go see if I can find Mark Sargent. And of course they had already met me, and it's like, okay, we're gonna have her try to meet you. And it's like, okay, but we had already met. And I show her the globe, and then I show her the AE map. And then they kind of cut to one of Chris Pontius's large models, which they took with them to the hotel, the same hotel. National Geographic, it was an all expenses paid thing for me to go down there and do this with them. I'm not shy to say it. That's the only reason I went, because I said, I do not want to go to the Salton Sea. It's going to be a horrible test. I don't want to do it. And so Chris Pontius shipped one of his giant models, one of those LED models to
It
go ahead.
looks sweet. I mean, that's where I remember watching. I remember watching it, and I'm like, hey, that looks pretty sweet. You know?
And the reason why they got such good footage is because they took it to their hotel room and blacked out all the curtains and everything and shot it basically in a pitch black room. And that footage was excellent. That was really, really good. Even though they didn't really describe it too much, they had me narrating over the top of it. And everything up until that point, first 5 minutes actually were pretty good. And after the 5 minutes, and then there's just me talking about what flat Earth is, and then they drive out to the Salton Sea, and as they're driving out, they meet with I think it's the physicist, Dr. James Bullock, professor of physics and astronomy at the University of California. And if you guys want to look him up, Dr. James Bullock, and I looked him up before I even went down to this meetup, he is a theoretical astrophysicist, meaning he specializes in dark matter. He can't even tell you what's happening on Mars and Jupiter or anything like that. He is he just deals in theoretical physics, right? Stuff that they cannot confirm, not for the life of them. And he's saying that flat Earth is really dangerous to the flat Earth community. And the host is agreeing with him. Of course she would be, because it's flat Earth, and National Geographic is National Geographic. They're going to back science. And they talk to him for a few minutes. Then they finally go out to the Salton Sea. Now, what was interesting was when they got out to the Salton Sea, and you had, I think it was Jim Underdown was the lead debunker guy out there. They initially, we were going to do some balloon tests. They were going to shoot 9 miles across the Salton Sea, and we were going to pick up these giant balloons holding up this banner 9 miles away. That whole section was cut out, gone. It was removed from. It was like
I knew that was.
Yeah. It's like it never even happened. Never even happened. And instead, they went to the backup test, which was this little green rubber raft with this little tiny electric motor, which they put out. They didn't even say how far it was. I think it was like 3 miles. It was the most unscientific thing ever. And they said, oh, yeah, we've got these stripes. And sure enough, at 3 miles, the stripes started to disappear. But as they're saying that, they're showing footage of the raft, and you can see the bottom of the boat. Not only can you see the bottom of the boat, you can see the shoreline on the other side and traffic that's out there. Yep. It's like, but the way they said it was, it's like, oh, well, this absolutely proves it. And it's like, not if you know what you're looking at. Flat earthers are never going to see that in a million years. And so they cut out about 90% of all the beach footage that we shot there. We were there literally from 5:30 in the morning until about noon. And then the cameras were running constantly, multiple cameras. And by the time they got to the end of that, I'm forwarding to, they're showing the debunkers. They're talking to me again. They talked to me a lot, and they cut out what they could. And then they did a little summary at the end where the host is basically saying that flat Earth is extremely dangerous, and that flat Earth is a threat to science and could lead us into the dark ages. And it was amazing.
And there's the rub. I knew it. There was an agenda.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but I don't know, I kept the station on. And then everything else was about space. Elon Musk, did you see he was on?
Yep.
And I'm like, and then when they're talking about the rockets that come back down, and they said something, Elon, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he said something to the effect that we have to prove to the people that we can bring these rockets back down to Earth, so that way we can continue with the space program. Right. And he literally said something that, to me, that kind of is tantamount to, well, they had to fake the moon. They had to be up there to show the picture of the globe. And he said it in such similar vernacular that I was like, wait a minute, did I just hear him say those exact words? And I mean, I just like, are you kidding me? And so, I don't know, it's just, I was like, whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
That was.
I didn't mind that they were going to take shots at us. Look, out of all the channels that have covered us so far, these guys were going to paint us in a bad light. There was no way around it. It was going to go down that way. And it could have been a lot worse, honestly. We had some sympathetic producers on the backside. The on-air talent, the blonde woman that's in here, Mariana. She didn't like us, but she doesn't produce the show. She's just there to ask the questions, and most of the questions didn't even come from her directly. They came from her producer, he was the one that kind of let me know what was going on the entire time. Could have been much worse, in my opinion. I think it was shot well.
Yeah, it could.
So
well,
anyway,
like I said, it is what it is. We'll see what happens, and Anyway, well, Mark, thanks for all
thank
you do as always, and. It was, like I said, after that was over, me and my lady friend did talk for a little while. And
cool. Hey, I have a question. Sorry, before you go, the Peanut Gallery wanted to ask the caller what he did in the military. Do you mind saying?
Military police.
MPs.
I was actually in Space Command before I got out.
You were an MP at Space Command in Colorado? That's awesome.
No. I was assigned to Space Command, but
okay.
I wasn't in Colorado. Yeah, headquarters is in Colorado, but I wasn't stationed there. So there's several bases. There's TAC bases, SAC bases, all that kind of stuff. And my last base was at Space Command. So, and so I was on space launch complexes, did training on there, and pretty crazy, and saw rockets go up, but we had to evacuate so far away. And I remember when it was going on, I'm like, man, I'm in the Air Force, I'm guarding these things, and I'm so far away, I don't even I'm no better off than the civilian people. Right. I remember being bummed out about that. Little did I know why. Now I know. It was for safety.
Awesome. Hey, so, I'm going to jump to another caller, but before I go, one last thing before I kick you off, and that is Peanut Gallery says MP equals my post. That must be an inside thing.
You got it.
All right.
Yeah, I had to guard planes and other weapons that for some reason no one ever came to steal. So
nice. All right, man. Hey, you have a good night. We'll talk soon.
All right,
okay?
brother.
All right. See ya.
Yeah, bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, let's jump over to 651, area code 651. You are on with Strange World. What is crack-a-lackin'?
Oh, this is not Paul on the plane? Damn. Nah, just messing with you. Hey, Mark Wesley Stage, Flat Earth News Talk. Wait for it. Go.
Today's word, boys and girls, is litigation.
That was a terrible sigh.
Litigation.
That was a terrible sigh.
Actionable.
Terrible.
Cease and desist.
Terrible. You know what?
You still call. You still call.
Yeah, of course. There is one thing, a little rule you got to follow when reading copy or, making up sentences. There's certain words you don't want to pause on. Earlier you said, if you can't get it up, and then you pause for the longest time, and I'm cracking up. Go to this History Channel.
Thanks, Wes.
I don't know if you caught that or not.
That's good.
I just thought I'd bring it.
Thanks. Anything else I can do or not do for you?
Yes, I do. I do have one thing I just wanted to say. I'm promoting my show for next weekend over on the Flat Earth Radio Live. We'll be doing my first show at 1 o'clock and also at 5 o'clock on Saturday. That's Central Time. And also be doing one on Sunday, also at 1 o'clock. And if I recall correctly, my first guest was supposed to be you. So you got 2 different times to choose if you can make it.
Cool.
Either 1 o'clock, which will probably be what? You're 2 hours behind me, right? Like right now, it's
I'm on
9:20
West Coast, West Side. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. So it'd probably be 11 in the morning or at 3 in the afternoon. Either one of those you can pick. We could talk about it in the after show.
Okay.
And hash it out.
All
Where's my peanut gallery? Where's my peanut gallery quote?
Peanut gallery. All right. Your peanut gallery quote goes exactly like this. We spend the first year of a child's life teaching it to walk and talk and the rest of its life to shut up and sit down. There's something wrong there. But you know who said that?
Oh,
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, my God. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know he had enough of brain cells to put that together. Wow.
Actually, look, Neil is a heck of a public speaker, and he's very articulate. He could do well on stage. Anything he could do, self-improvement speeches. He could be a comedian. He really could, but he's not real good at thinking on the fly. That's why he doesn't do debates.
Well, he's a great. Well, we know he's a great actor. I mean, come on.
I understand.
Been doing that for years.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I got. I got nothing.
All you got? All right.
Not unless you want to keep talking.
No.
Because
No.
Subject matter.
No. That's why you called before the break. That's why I'm going to kick you off.
All right.
Anyway, we will. You don't want to do any shout outs before we leave?
Oh, definitely shout out to Zulu One. You got to have him do his Morgan Freeman impression.
Sounds Morgan Freeman impression. Okay. All right. I'll have him dig one of those up.
And shout out to everybody in the chat. Hi, Larry. Yeah. Hi. My name's Larry. He's going to get excited now. So, and Karen B. and all the other people. There's so many in there. Love it.
I hardly
endorse. Mark, you have a good day.
Karen B. All right, man. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right, bye.
Yeah. All right, 60 seconds until the music kicks in, and I want to mention that we are still working on the details for the... obviously, I'm going to be at QE 2019, which is going to be in Los Angeles in February. But in April, we are working on a little mini conference down in North Carolina, in Asheville, North Carolina, to be more specific. And I will get you, as soon as I hear something, I will let you know. Currently, right now, I'm going to be speaking there. And I believe Karen B is going to be there with me. And I'm working on a third person because it's a one-day deal. So it's just one day, and there's going to be some VIP events the night before, and I think a breakfast the next day. But we're trying to fill up the day, and so I think we need at least 3. It'd be nice if we could do 4, but 3 would be great. Anyway, we're going to come back, take more calls. So hang around for a couple minutes.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
You're listening to Truth Frequency Radio.
We are TFR.
Welcome back to Strange World Part 2 of 4. We are doing calls, and we are talking about all things Flat Earth. Big week in Flat Earth news. Stephen Curry going down the road saying the moon missions weren't real by the Americans, which has generated all sorts of hoopla. NASA even themselves invited Stephen to come and visit them so they could show him some space rocks and prove that we actually went to the moon because of the rocks. Yeah. Not going to happen. All right, let's get to the calls. How about 916 area code? 916, you are on with me, and I don't know how many people listen. Well, quite a few, apparently. What's up?
Paul, I thought this was Paul and Noxie.
Is that going to be the running gag tonight? Is everybody calling in going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, isn't this the Paul and the Plane show?" That's great. I'm so happy. How are you, dear?
Poor guy, though. They're calling now.
I know.
I'm good. Everyone, this is F.E. Mishka. Hi.
Yay.
How are you, Mark?
I am. You know what? I'm pretty good. I thought it was going to be a slow news week, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Nat Geo comes out, and then Stephen Curry from your neck of the woods comes out. I'm sure the whole city is freaking losing their mind. It's like, wait, like the number one guard in the country, is in our city. He believes in the, well, he didn't say flat Earth, but it didn't matter because everybody's tying him to Kyrie Irving. And then Fox News comes out and makes some fun of him. So it's great. I mean, we generate a lot of press so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got a list again today. I've got 3 things that kind of go into a couple other things, but I'll try to be quick. And first thing is a quote for everyone, but you and Mark and the Peanut Gallery, and it is. I'll tell you after. It's the heart of the discipline of the personality is threefold. 1, know yourself. 2, accept yourself. 3, become the creator. And that is it's the channeled entity Ra from the Ra Law of One sessions recorded back in the 1980s by the LL Institute.
Wow. All right. Cool. That's all. Yep. Oh, okay. Well, let me respond wait, before you get to point number 2, I might as well respond with a quote from the Peanut Gallery for you, because that's one of the things he does. It goes exactly like this. He who is conceived in a cage yearns for the cage. And that's from some Russian guy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name. It's Yevgeny Yevtushenko. He's some Russian guy.
Oh yeah, no, butchered.
Yeah.
Butchered. So I don't have flat Earth news. I was kind of politicking today, but I was
that's fine.
I was watching the CEO of Google, the Sundar Pichai.
Oh yeah, the East Indian guy.
Answering. Yeah, and it was really interesting. They did get a lot into censorship on, YouTube, on Google especially, and I really encourage, especially content creators, to go watch this. Fox News has it 3 hours, but if you got nothing to do, it's very interesting. You watch the questions they ask him and the answers he provides. And what I found really entertaining during this was right behind him was this a guy dressed like the Monopoly Man, and he totally had a top hat and a big white mustache. Yeah, and so I was cracking up because I was watching this live this morning, and I'm like, "What the hell is that, the Monopoly Man?" And I just started busting up. I couldn't believe that. So I was curious about him, like if anybody found anything, like who the heck was that guy, and what was his whole.
Yeah, was he deliberate, or was he just a guy that was making a statement saying that Google is? I mean, they've always been accused. I mean, it's only a matter of time.
Like he's a monopoly, and he kept holding up the monocle, his little eyepiece, there would be very interesting questions where he would hold up his eyepiece, and so I think anyone who goes back and watches that now, look for the Monopoly Man behind him. And watch him too. It's really, really interesting. So
that's nice.
That's was awesome. Number 2.
Okay.
Yeah. And number 3, touching back on, obviously there's a lot of stuff going on in the news, but especially over in Europe and France and all that stuff. But touching back on preparedness. Anybody who's been looking to get one, I just picked up a sweet gas mask from Amazon. I've been watching this one for a bit. and it's like antiviral, anti all sorts of chemicals, like super legit.
Nice.
And it's by parcel distribution. It's normally $1.99. It's on sale for $89.99 right now. Right now, it comes with 2 filters. So just something to add to your go box.
Wow.
Never know, and dumping enough chemtrails on us, we might need those anyway. So
nice. Well, nice. Again,
the BOGO deal.
I'm
your girl too, or your spouse.
I'm a big believer in the whole prepper thing. As you guys know, I give out a free survival guide to anybody that emails me and just puts in the title, survival guide, I want it, or just say survival guide, and I will shoot it to you. It's only 2 megs, and I wrote it back during the whole Katrina thing because I was ticked off that all these people that left the city, left New Orleans, and out of the people that came back, almost all of them still didn't prep. It's like, what are you talking about? You guys were chased out of the city by floodwaters. You know, no power, no water to drink.
Just to have like a few things.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, just get us some canned food, some bottled water, and some flashlights, and something to defend it with. Unless you're not in the mood to defend it. And that's all you really need. You know, I'm sorry, I don't want to go off on a rant, but it seems hypocritical that we buy insurance for everything. We buy health and dental and life and car and name it. We have insurance for it, and yet we won't spend $100. Even $100 makes a world of difference. $100 worth of bottled water and canned food, you'd be set. But whatever. Hey, exactly. I'm not judging. Whatever. Let's see. Oh yeah. By the way, Peanut Gallery says, just so you know, gas masks still do not filter smoke. And that's just not a tip for Michelle here. That's a tip for everybody. You can, gas masks will help with a lot of things.
No.
The what?
Why wouldn't they filter against smoke? It's a gas mask.
Because smoke, meaning I believe it's the carbon dioxide in the smoke. Meaning carbon dioxide is so small. It'll filter. The gas particles are still the gas particles are still thicker than the oxygen CO2 thing that you have to deal with.
I'll do a demonstration later.
If you do, hey, fantastic. In fact, he goes, you can smoke through it. You know what? We'll talk about this after the show.
I already know that.
Yeah.
Peanut Gallery.
Yeah, he's a world of advice. Anyway, anything else I can do for you?
Yeah. That is all. Shout out to Zulu One and everybody in the chat, Karen B, Brian Burton. I don't know who's over there right now. Bob Glowbusters, Caroline. Cool. Ginger. Much love, Ginger. So, Mark, you have a good night. I will talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
Stay flat. All right, let's jump over to 214 area code 214. You were on with Strange World. What are we talking about?
Hey, Mark, Scott, in Dallas. And, funny, y'all are talking about this gas mask, because when we had that Ebola scare here in Dallas like a couple of years ago or something, I was researching gas mask really hard. And come to find out, the size of the Ebola virus is like 8 microns, and the best gas mask on the market, military grade, only filters down to 10 microns, so the Ebola could still go through that filter. So once I found that out, I was like, oh, no wonder you always see these guys in totally enclosed suits, self-contained.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So one thing to think about there. So, and another thing, it only took about 10 minutes of good hardcore research, and I dug that one right out. And I even called into several shows, and they just like poo-pooed me right out of the gate. I'm like, what the hell is y'all's problem? Whatever. But anyhow, it was like stupid. So, And talking about that Stefan dude, the basketball player, you need to put an egg timer on him to see how fast he changes his story so he doesn't lose his contracts.
Well, you know, remember, he's not really, well, he hasn't said anything regarding flat Earth. He's only been going after the Apollo program. Although, look, come on, let's be honest here. If he's going after the Apollo program, you know that we're in his sights somewhere. You know, he just doesn't want to say it because he's smart enough to know that what happened to Kyrie 18 months ago, he doesn't want to deal with that. Now, what he doesn't realize is, okay, fine, he's got championship rings and he's young. Now, you know, you wait. Yeah, you're right. And I don't think it'll be an egg timer, but journalists now have that. They will keep that in their back pocket and they will use this after every freaking game that he allows interviews. And you know, because athletes give notoriously boring interviews. You know, nobody wants to hear about offense and defense and coaching and shooting percentages and all that stuff. They want to hear about the interesting. What'd you do? What's interesting? Oh, I don't know. I don't believe in the moon mission. Really? That's pretty amazing. Tell me more. You know, this. Oh yeah, it's not going away anytime soon. So we'll see if he backpedals. You're right. I'm betting that he doesn't. Because again, athletes are in a rare position. They don't have anything. He doesn't have anything to lose. They can't take away his rings. He's going to be in the record books. He's currently playing for the number one team in the country. So yeah, let him do what he wants.
Well, just look at the other guy, that Kyrie Irving. He finally, it took a while for him to break, but he backtracked too.
Well, okay, let me clarify. Did you actually listen? I know you guys all read the headlines about Kyrie Irving, but he actually didn't backtrack. What happened was he got.
I heard exactly. Yeah, I heard what you said about it. So.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I couldn't blame him because he was getting letters from science teachers all across the country. They're all saying the same thing. It's like, dude, you are killing us. You are burying us here. You know, you are so much more influential than a high school teacher. And how can we compare? So when you say the Earth is flat, we are now digging our way out of a hole. And he apologized for that. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause, he didn't mean to cause the teachers any pain. At the same time, as I mentioned to the National Geographic guys, I go, look, there's going to be some pain involved here. Someone's going to have to suffer. And unfortunately, it's going to have to be people in the field of science. There's just no way around it.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Oh, I agree. And, we'll just see what happens with it and let it kind of ride. The main thing I was kind of really calling about is, I hadn't called in for a while because I was kind of busy and stuff. But I know one show you were talking about, and there was another dude that called from Dallas, and y'all were talking about the reflection underneath the sun and underneath the clouds and how you see the red on the bottom side of the clouds. Right. And my first immediate thought was, well, the sun's trekking away from us, and where's it going? If the sun's going away from you and it's reflecting back and it's hitting down, well, it could also hit water and bounce right back up and shine right up underneath the bottom of the clouds off water.
Oh yeah. I am not worried about. In fact, that's funny you'd mention that because the guy that filmed the documentary Behind the Curve, his name's Daniel J. Clark. And that is his sticking point. He is hanging on to the globe because of that one thing, saying, he goes, I haven't heard a good enough explanation of the sunlight on the bottom of the clouds. And I hated to break it to him because I knew he didn't spend much time in software. I'm going, look, man, the lighting effects are no different than the physics engine of this place. And that is the lighting effects are extremely flexible. But if he wants to hold on to it, that's fine. I don't blame him. There's people that have said worse. I've had people come to me and say, yeah, I know that Apollo was faked, but that doesn't mean that everything's faked. It's like, what? Because that's the first rule of faking it. That is, if you fake one thing, you might as well fake everything, because if you get caught, it's the same penalty no matter what. Kind of like murder one person in the room, you might as well shoot them all. Whatever.
Well, that just goes back to trust. I mean, once you lose trust, you don't get it back 100%. You always have that nagging doubt in the back of your mind. So, So, I'll go ahead and finish on this. I know you got some other callers, but one good thing about, people in the flat earth community in general is the ability to cross-platform onto other people's channels. And what I mean by that is, like, take like the Dark Journalist. I don't know if you ever heard or listened to him, but he comes off with some really deep analysis. And of course, he's all off into that space program, blah, blah, blah. And I don't buy into that. But, some of the research that he did and coming to find out about connecting Trump and Tesla and all this other stuff. But he also talked about Admiral Byrd and Oswald, and how Admiral Byrd's brother was the one that was in charge of the book depository. It was also a I can't remember if he was naval or anyway, he was a captain that recruited Oswald, and it was just so much freaky stuff that just tied together. It was like, holy shit, what is really going on? But anyhow, just people being able to cross platforms and still have an open mind, because my whole theory is a mind is like a parachute. It only works if it opens. And with that, have a great show.
You too, man. Thank you. Well put. All right, let's jump over to 954. 954, you're on with Strange World. What's happening?
Hi, Paul.
That's the running. This is not going to end, is it? People are just going to line up, and that's what they're going to do. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
How are you? How are things?
Good. How are you, Mark?
I'm well. I should just pretend to be Paul.
Okay. Actually, this is Elaine Chadwick Clanton, Flat Earth for Dummies 101.
Cool.
And I am calling because I was very excited to see you at the Denver conference. And sorry that you had to leave, but I listened to what you had to say about that, and I agree with you. I won't get into that because that's not really what I want to discuss.
No, that's totally cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah. And I listened to your speech, of course, on a video, and so I got to hear that, so that was great.
Awesome.
I wanted to ask you something. I was just watching this Michael Tellinger. Have you ever heard of him?
Yes, I have. People have sent me links to Michael Tellinger for a while now. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was just watching a very, very long video because he was giving a speech, and evidently he travels around and does this because he mentioned that he was going to be in Albuquerque sometime soon. But on some of the strangest discoveries ever, and a lot of the stuff that he does talk about really ties into the flat Earth very well. Now, he is not into the flat Earth as far as I can tell. He's, presents, globe images and all of this. But his idea of what he calls the electro or whatever. Anyway, he reverses electromagnetic to magnetic electro universe, and he talks about torque fields and presents about how the electron doesn't really exist, and these things about space and the collider and CERN is introduced to the flat Earth, and I bet he'd embrace it because it fits right into his theories.
All right.
So,
all right. If anybody knows, I try not to, because everything I've done has been pretty much unsolicited. So if anybody wants to reach out to Michael on behalf of me, by all means, I'll respond to him if he ever sends me an email directly, or if he calls me, and I will be happy. You know me. I've talked to everybody from junior high newspapers to major networks. So whoever wants to talk about it, I'd be happy to talk to him.
Yeah, I plan to watch a lot more of his stuff.
Okay.
It was, I fell into it because it was recommended by, I don't know, YouTube, because of things I watch, and so I just happened, excuse me. So I started listening to it.
Okay.
anyway, the second thing I wanted to mention to you was that we're getting a group together for a meetup in Florida.
Okay.
And I wanted to reach out to any of your listeners that might be from Florida. We, I've got a list of people so far, and we are thinking about February.
Okay.
And are going to pick out a central location.
Okay.
So
give out your best
give
out your best contact info if you don't mind, so that anyone who wants to do a meetup in Florida, go ahead.
Yeah, my best contact info is to email me at luxana49@gmail.com. Luxana spelled Luxa, N as in Nancy, A, 49@gmail. And we're getting the group together, so just send me your contact information and where you live in Florida.
Cool.
And so I'm getting the group together, and I've had a lot of good response so far.
Sounds great.
Okay.
All right.
And so that's about it, except, I could tell you one thing.
Okay.
And it's set to I'm a Believer by the Monkees. You remember that song?
I am old enough to remember the Monkees. Used to watch them after school.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm older than you, but, I was in that time period.
Is the song on YouTube?
Yes, it is. It's on my channel, Flat Earth for Dummies 101. I actually have the video that is the song that I put on there, and I've also been using it for some of the background music for other videos that I've done. And
cool.
Didn't have anybody to sing it, so I sing it myself.
Awesome. Check it out if you get a chance. Well, thank you very much for calling in, and we will talk again soon, okay?
All right, okay. Great to talk with you, Mark.
Talk soon.
Okay, all right.
All right, let's jump over to 864. That'll be the last one before the break. 864, are you there? 864.
Just Jack.
Hey, it's just Jack. What's going on, man?
Is this Noxie? It doesn't sound like Paul. Is this Noxie?
Yeah, this isn't going to get old. All right, for those of you who are just tuning in now, the show before mine is called Paul. Oh, it's Paul on the Plane, and it's Paul and Noxie. And for whatever reason, I don't think this is going away anytime soon.
You sound more like Noxie than you do like Paul. So
that's super great. Awesome. Peanut Gallery.
So I was calling to what?
Go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Oh,
you can interrupt me because that lag. It's very confusing sometimes.
It's the lag. It's totally cool. What is happening, man? You got 2 minutes till we go to break.
I was just wondering, how many people dealt with the weather manipulation that we had this week. We had some weird, heavy snow, like it felt like BBs hitting my roof. And it was insane. We got 12 inches of snow overnight, and then the next day it melted. It was crazy. But anyway, weather manipulation.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is I want to do a shout out for Brian Burton. I don't really know who he is. I've heard of him, but he says he doesn't get enough shout out. And I think he's a guy that's on this side of the fence, but he's always peeking over to the other side.
Yeah, don't let him fool you.
Just kidding.
Master Gunner Brian Burton from the United States Army, retired. Great guy, and he's helped me with a whole bunch of stuff, and he always sends me great headlines. Every day he sends me headlines of what's happening.
Yeah, he's a great devil's advocate. He gives it's hard for new people that don't know him, though. People get kind of perturbed with him because they don't understand that he already knows there's something wrong with the globe. So
right.
But it's shout out to Brian, and Caroline, thanks for the heads up on calling out Noxie, because it's true. He sounds more like Noxie. So
great.
All right.
That's awesome. I'm so glad we can keep this thing going. Let's keep it going the entire show. Let's pretend that Paul on the Plane didn't even happen earlier tonight, and we're just
Zulu rules. Zulu rules strange world. So if he says we all have to do it, then we all have to do it. So that's just the way it is.
I hate him so much. All right. Well, with that, and I have to run into you.
We love you, Mark.
Yeah, thanks, man. Go to hell. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, hey, look at that, the music. See you guys in a few.
Hi, my name is Ella.
You must unite what has been set asunder.
We are TFR, Truth Frequency Radio.
Major Kong. Major Kong. Primary target the ICBM complex at Laputa. Switch all receiver circuits to CRM discriminators. What's cooking on the strap board? Nothing. Alright, tell you what's gonna do, old buddy. You're gonna give Elmo and Charlie a flash, man. Bump everything up to condition ready. Stand by the floor on your head. Major Kong. Major Kong. Hey, what about Major Kong?
Clear and plain and coming through fine.
What about
It's great to be fine.
What about Major
What's
Kong?
happened? You see the string in my legs, Carl.
What about Major
I
Kong?
never told you.
Hey, what about Major Kong?
Welcome back to Strange World, part 3 of 4. We are taking calls this evening, and the quote for Just Jack that I missed last segment goes exactly like this. I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I am afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. And that was by Alexander the Great. I've heard that quote before. It's actually pretty good. All right, let's get right to it. Let's jump over to 303 area code. 303, you're on with Strange World, part 3. What's up?
Hey, Mark, how are you doing?
I am doing well. How are things?
Doing very well, thanks. My name's Ted. I'm from Denver.
Cool.
And I've been listening to you for about a year now, so it's a pleasure to speak with you.
Now you're just calling in. You're just calling in after a year.
I know, it's weird. You're very personable.
Yeah.
I'm always intimidated because everybody that calls you seems to already know you. So, but you seem so personable. But I
thank
thought,
you.
oh, you know what? I'll be great buddies with him as soon as I speak to him. It'll be like talking to a friend.
Okay.
But I'm like the worst at public speaking or anything having to do with that. I get tongue tied, but anyway.
It's all right.
Anyway, the reason. So, and then also I saw the recent Salton Sea video, and I was going to. I guess what I saw was I didn't really reach any conclusions as to how you sort of debunked that, and I was going to ask you, but then a previous caller already.
Oh yeah. The National Geographic thing. Well, it's not that they showed anything that proved the globe. They just said it. That was it. It's like, well, you can, the stripes disappeared, obviously, and that proves the globe. And it's like, you didn't even, not only did they not show what distance that thing was at, nor did they even mention the 8 inches per mile squared on there. It was like the most unscientific explanation. Not only that, but you could see the bottom of the raft, and then you could see 5 miles past the raft on the other side of the lake.
Right.
So, but again, it's, all they have to do is reassure the people, their viewers, because remember, most of their viewers are science oriented. Reassure them that it is indeed, excuse me, indeed a globe. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I've seen their laser tests, and they are kind of homemade, but they're very. I mean, they try as hard as they can. And when I saw like this tripod in the sand, I'm like, that is, you need at least like a level on a better, I want to see a telescope. I don't want to. So just even though you didn't like have the cameras hooked in through the viewfinder or anything, which would have been great, but and I've already reached my own conclusion on that. I think that like what happens is there's like, if you were like consider all the crests of the waves, the fact that there's some crests closer to you than way far away, like obviously very far away, they're fairly short, but closer to you, that when you lose sight of the bottom of the boat, it's being obfuscated by the infinite number of waves that are in the path. That's why, and that would also then explain exactly why you zoom in and it's clearly visible.
I mean, there was so much stuff that was. Remember, we shot with National Geographic for 2 days, 2 straight days, and they were there at the lake at 5:30 in the morning, way before the sun came up, and you could see the lights on the shore across the lake. And they used none of that footage at all, nor did they use the balloon footage from 9 miles away when we spotted it, and they didn't. They cut all of that out. The only thing they had to go on was the raft. It's like and that was left up to the producers in New York. And I was like, all right, fine. You're gonna use that? I'll remember this going down the road. So.
I know. I mean, anybody that is from, if you've already experienced like the flat Earth, you can see them coming a mile away, that they've already reached their conclusion. The very tone. I mean, the scientists were before that National Geographic, who was being interviewed. What a handsome, tall, cool, nice guy. I mean, he would never be wrong. And he said, we're really in danger because we're going to start, not listening to our doctors because science is in danger, and that's just crazy. But no, I have a quick. What I do is whenever I hear or see one of these, I have AutoCAD. I'm an architect, so I have a drawing on my computer that is, whatever this, it's physical drawing. You can draw anything. You can draw an atom on AutoCAD if you want to. You can draw the universe. I have a actual size universe, and I'll say, I'm in Denver, so I have 1 mile above whatever we say the radius of the Earth is, and I go 1 mile, 5280, and then you're in you're living in Boulder, so I could go to Lake Dillon and say, well, that's 11 miles. I shouldn't be able to see Frisco from Dillon, which you can. And in AutoCAD, it's really simple to see. Even though it's very faint, you blow it up, and you can, tell that, indeed, if there's a curve, that would be Bach.
Yep.
But, and I guess, so anyway, I thought I'd comment on that, but I had a question. I thought you thought about this more than me, and I know this is sort of against your philosophy. You can't really convince anyone of a flat Earth in a conversation. You have to go do your own research. You have to take the 2 weeks, call off of work, sick, or whatever.
Right.
And but what is here's my question. Yes. What would you say would be your first statement or first thing that you would say to somebody to prompt them or to urge them without, because you end up looking stupid. Like what I would do is I have a video on my phone where I'm standing and then the moon is out during the daytime. And I show a picture of my feet panning up to the shadow, and you can sort of from that see the alignment where the sun is behind me, obviously. And then I pan over and I look at the moon. And you can just tell there's no way that those align.
Right.
Also, I have something else that I would draw on a piece of paper. I would show them the fact that, like, if for example, I'm in Denver and I'm facing the sun at 12 o'clock noon on June 21st, that if it actually rotated 360 degrees 1/2 a year later on December, Why would noon be, okay, so, then that's like a typical
I know where you're going with this. And unfortunately, I hate to do this to you because I know you probably have a lot of points, but this is a call-in show. And I do have to, keep them going every once in a while. What you're talking about as far as why the sun is in a certain place in the sky after a certain period of time, be it a month or half a year or a year, and different people have talked about it. Unfortunately, and you get it. I totally appreciate that you get it, but your average person on the street isn't that much of a three-dimensional thinker, so they don't realize that after a certain number of rotations, it doesn't really match up. But I know where you're going with that one. Mm-hmm. So anyway, sorry, I hate to do this to you, man, but I've got so many calls I've got to take. Any shout outs before I kick you off?
Yeah.
Any shout outs?
No, I'm just I'm going to try to hopefully look up for anybody in Denver that wants to get together. That's what I'm going to be looking for you guys soon to try to hook up. So
cool.
No shout outs at this time, but it was great speaking to you. Thanks.
Well, no, it was great speaking with you, and don't wait so long to call in again. Seriously, call in soon, okay?
Well, just like I thought, you're easy to talk to, so I will talk to you soon.
Okay, have a good one. Talk to you soon. All right, let's jump over to, oh boy, we so many calls. Let's do 805, then we're going to jump over to Canada, then probably Washington. So let's go 805. You're on Strange World right now.
Yay, Mark! Aloha! It's J and K. It's actually just K tonight, calling you from Big Island.
Hey, what time is it out there in Hawaii?
Oh, let's see here. It is. You're going to make me put my glasses on, dude.
Sorry. Sorry. You could ballpark it. You don't have to give
6:10. It's 6:10.
No, that's not so bad. That's not so bad.
Yeah,
so what's
we don't
what's
do
on
the daylight savings time thing, so I always have to check.
Right.
We're 3 hours behind California or 2.
What's on your mind this evening?
Well, I've got quite a list here, so feel free to.
Oh boy, you can't don't start
5
with that. But go ahead.
quickies.
Okay.
Okay. So first thing is this title of this documentary, the Behind the Curve. You
Yes.
know how it's like kind of not the best title ever.
Right.
I think it's great because the sequel. Here's my suggestion: the sequel will be titled "The Lies Behind the Curve," and the curve will be in quotes, air quotes, right?
Yeah.
It's perfect
I
setup
think
for
I
us.
think it can be interpreted a whole bunch of different ways behind the curve, and that is there anything behind the curve? Well, it turns out there is. Technically, there should be nothing behind the curve because you can't see behind the curve because there isn't a curve. And again, I like it because it fits with the movie, and that is it's a Trojan horse. And that is the guy earlier just called me and said, "What would you do, to try to convince people on the street?" I would show them the documentary because it's safe. They go in thinking, "Oh, okay, I'm just going to make fun of flat earthers," and by the time you're done, you have more questions than when you started out with. So I recommend it to everybody now.
Yep. Just like I had after I first heard you on Darkness Radio. Thanks for doing that interview with those guys. That was when I first heard you talk about flat Earth.
Well, thank
way
you.
Back 2015.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's so cool that I get to go on after the last guy who called about the time change thing.
Okay.
Because I finally found the cookie video, guys, and it was actually a bread video on YouTube by Joseph Green, where in 90 seconds he describes that. And I am a 3D thinker, so it blew me away. And then I told one of my friends, and they were like, "Oh no, that's because he doesn't understand the sidereal calendar or something." So Next point, that was point number 2. But anyway, I found the cookie video. It was actually a bread video. Did you ever watch Ready Player One?
I did. I did end up watching Ready Player One.
And did you notice? Awesome. What did you think?
I'm probably not going to watch it again because I didn't. The storyline wasn't. It was okay. I loved all the references in it, and I thought it was cool. Why? What stuck out to you in Ready Player One?
Man, I just saw so many flat Earth references. For example, that club in the virtual reality world is called the Distracted Globe.
The Distracted Globe.
And just
very, very true. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And the thing that, well, I won't go into more of it, but I'm just glad you watched it because I
recommend it to people.
I sent you and
It's a movie you'll at least see
very
once.
rambling email.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, and the keys that the wizard was leaving,
right?
And the fact that the wizard, when he first shows up, he's on a flat plane circle.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff in there, and the references to The Shining and all that. It just got
yeah.
me all excited. You have time for one more?
Sure.
Okay. I recently met someone who remembers when she was 9 years old watching the supposed moon landing telecast.
Yeah.
And she told me, I didn't even know she was a flat Earth person, and I was just like bringing it out with my little version of the flat smack and see what she would do. And she said, oh yeah, she goes, I could tell at 9 years old there was a big deception because the newscaster, she said she remembers him actually standing on a set that looked like the moon and saying that, oh, we're going to need to enhance the images, and that's why I'm standing on this thing that looked like the moon. And at 9 years old, she goes, how did they know how to build a set for him that looks like the moon if we've never been there yet? And what is this about enhancing the images?
Right.
So I never haven't done the research to watch that myself, but I found it very interesting.
Yep.
As I did listening to NPR's Wait, Don't Tell Me recently, and they played the supposed voice of one of the astronauts on the space station, and he's says he brought his GoPro, but he forgot the SIM card. That's really convenient. Why we don't have still don't have the 360 panning in space. Did you hear that one?
Oh yeah. There's only so much they can do. They're covering as best they can, and it's not going well right now.
No, once our eyes are open, it's just so obvious everywhere we look, and I don't mind saying so. I'm actually really happy to be here with you, and man, thanks for letting me get through my list.
I you know what? Thank you for staying on hold for as long as you did.
Oh yeah, well, this is my second time, so glad I finally got through, and I just have shout outs to Patricia Steer and thank you, Joseph Green, for making that amazing 90-second video that is, if this doesn't make you question the globe, nothing will on YouTube. And just shout out to all the Hawaii FE folks, including Joey Rocha, and let's have a Big Island meetup soon, and I'd love to have you out here. So I'm going to start collecting the funds, man, once you're out here for a meetup.
I would be happy to go. I've actually never been to Hawaii.
On.
My family's been tons of times. I have never gone. All right. Hey, I will say goodbye to you, and we will talk soon, okay?
Goodbye. Sounds great. Bye. Aloha.
All right. Let's jump over to Blame Canada. Blame Canada. All right, Canada. What's up?
Hey, Noxie. Hey, Paul. It's Brian in Niagara Falls.
Yep. Not getting old. Nope. What's happening up there, man?
Oh, not a heck of a lot. But I honestly think that you should send Daniel, the producer of the Beyond or Behind the Curve.
Behind.
The link to Paul's last show that was on just before yours.
Why?
Because you were talking about him with the light under the clouds. Yeah. And they totally touched on that. So
you know what? I don't think. Look, Daniel's looked at a lot of stuff. You got to remember, he's been with us now for a couple of years, and he just doesn't want to let go yet. And even if he could, and I've told this to other people, even if he wanted to, he could never admit it, because now that he's made the film and he made it from a very neutral point of view, he could never even remotely hint that he might be leaning in our direction, even if he was, which I don't think he is. I think he's a very logical, very Spock type of personality, where he doesn't want to deviate. It's whatever the logic dictates. That's what I'm going with. Established science. It's like, all right, fine. I mean, either way, he made a documentary, which is only going to help us in the end. So I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what was the actual name of the program on National Geographic? That's
a good question, Peanut Gallery. What is that? It was a long title. It's just National Geographic from December 10th. And the show was called National Geographic Explorer. and the episode
Explorer.
is from, I think it's the 5th episode of this season. So whatever season this is, I don't know if it's season 11 or whatever it is, but it's December 10th, 2018. Yeah, it's called Explorer. Yep, he's chiming in, but it's easy to find. I mean, it's there. It's there now. You can go to the National Geographic website, go to the Explorer television show, and it's right there. You can hit play. They do a trial. I think you get an hour, so you could watch it. You could watch that episode for free if you wanted. Now, ripping it, that takes a lot of doing, and I have yet to find a way to upload it onto season 11, episode 5. I've yet to find a way to put it up on YouTube. I have tried. Granted, I'm limited using Windows Live Movie Maker. I think the only way you could do it is if you did one of those, like the fake movie theaters, the fake televisions inside where you squeeze it in there. That usually, but Nat Geo, they don't screw around. They will block anything that looks even remotely close. And I distorted this thing 6 ways from Sunday, and I still couldn't do it. So anyway. We'll see, though. I've still got a hard copy on my machine, and I'll ship it off to people if whoever wants it.
Even if you leave it blocked, but still available for other countries.
Well, that's just it. Yeah, you're right. That. I could put it up there, and you could watch it. There's the rub, right? United States can't watch it. Canada can. That makes perfect sense. Whatever. Whatever. Anyway, anything else? Because I do want to grab one more call before the break. Anything else on your side?
Shout out to Brian Burton. We don't often see eye to eye, but still love the guy, and Mark as well. So you too, and Paul Anofsky.
You don't have to. So. Yeah, thanks. You don't have to throw me in there just to be polite. It's okay. I get it.
Oh, come on.
No, I never really liked you much as a person.
Yeah, we do.
All right. I
know.
We're going to send you off. And remember, folks, Canada, it's not even a real country. Goodbye, Canada. And he's gone. And let's jump right over to Washington, I believe. 360 area code. Right down the road, it appears. What's going on?
Am I talking to the Mark Sargent?
Oh, thank God somebody said Mark instead of Paul.
Yeah, that's right, man.
What's happening?
The legend. Well, a lot of things. I thought you had a great group of callers overall, other than their inability to distinguish the voice of the legendary Mark Sargent.
No. What happened was there's a chat room going on, and they're saying that you know how those guys, like anything. It's like, oh, call into the show and ask for Paul. That's like the running joke tonight. So I was like, all right, that's fine. I see.
I know. I love Paul. You love Paul. That, which I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of things. I thought you had some great points made tonight that you guys talked about already. Yeah. Great callers.
Yeah, and a pretty big week.
Other than Les.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, other than Les from Flat Earth.
Oh, yeah. Well, Wes, again, court orders apparently mean nothing to that guy. He just keeps calling and calling. I don't know what I'm going to do. But whatever. At least he's not stalking me, so that's good. That's other people. Did you, by the way?
No, he just doesn't have any content, right?
No, he doesn't have any content.
So on your Daniel comment, you guys have been talking about Daniel, and so when I was at Behind the Curve with Yuli and you and Flat Earth Fucker and some other people there and some neutral people and gold people and everything in Bellingham. My view of Daniel was exactly like what you just said. I think he knows that there's a lot to it with that Spock personality.
Right.
That there's not a lot of evidence to contradict the fact that it's not a globe.
Right.
And I could see it in his eyes, and I've seen that before now with my pilot friends and family. Yeah. I'm starting to detect it more where they don't want to say it, but they know it's happening. They've been deceived,
Yeah. Well, you can't spend that much time with Flat Earth. I mean, it's like anything, like being deep undercover. You can't spend that much time with Flat Earthers and not absorb some of it. You're going to. It just by osmosis. You're going to absorb some of the points, and it's going to be drilled into you over and over again until, again, he can hang on to the sunlight on the bottom of the clouds if he wants, but I treat that no different than the pastors of certain congregations that are holding on to Isaiah 40:22, which is he who sitteth upon the circle of the earth. And they're holding on to that chapter and verse like it's got veto power over the rest of the Bible. And I find that fascinating. Right. It's like, really? You're going to hold on to Isaiah, even though Genesis and everything else seems to go along with the flat enclosed world? You're going to hold on to Isaiah because you're afraid that you might be embarrassed when you're up on the pulpit? Everybody's got their thing.
You're right on, man. I gave my pastor maps of areas where he was at and told him what was below the curve, and I'm not going to keep,
Right.
I think you were the one that said to walk away if somebody doesn't even get it, that the JFK guy in the tower, in the book depository didn't have one shot from a bad 22 to hit the president.
Or the moon mission. It's usually the moon mission.
And then the moon mission. So
if they believe, in fact, I was listening to Fox News today when they were talking about the moon mission, Stephen Curry, and the woman, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. She said, "Well, no, I believe in the moon mission. I'm a patriot." That was immediately her follow-up comment, which was, if you're a proud American, it is your duty to believe in the moon mission." It's like, whoa, that's a strong statement. It's like, believe what your government, if you want to be a strong American, you got to believe what your government tells you. And it's like, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're
right on to where I was headed with this.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You got 30 seconds before we go to music. Whatever you can do.
Well, I was going to say, with the whole week of Bush being eulogized as the greatest guy in the world, and they don't even remember Iran-Contra, all the wars, all the lies, the other evidence of things that most people don't know about, but just the mainstream stuff. I mean, you can't, these guys want to say you're not a patriot, but we have to remember the past, and you can't try and change history just because somebody dies.
Exactly. And with that,
I got a lot more to say, but I can save it for next time.
Okay, man. We'll talk soon. Have a good one. See ya.
We are TFR.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 4 of 4. And Peanut Gallery didn't even have to prompt me, but I'm going to say it. Hey, you know what? That was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album, Night and Day. Okay, we're doing a call in. I'm not even going to give out the number because we got lots. I promise I'm going to pick up 425. I'm going to pick up 845 at the very least. And I'm going to pick up what appears to be Dan the Waterman out in Los Angeles, because I'm sure he's got a few choice things to say about the National Geographic thing because he was around for the meetup. So let's go to 425 first. 425, you're on with Strange World right now.
Hey, Mark, always a great show.
Hey.
So I got something for you.
Yeah.
And now it's not going to scare most people because they don't have knowledge.
Okay.
But what I'm going to tell you is actually going to scare you because you do have knowledge of this particular, what this actually means.
Okay.
And so, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So this came out yesterday. And this came out from the Department of Homeland Security. Mm-hmm. And I'll just read the the title and the subtitle, and that should be enough. And then, you can go on to another call. Okay. DHS says Americans need to start prepping for up to 6 months without electricity. And the subheadline is this. In a new report from the President's National Infrastructure Advisory Council and published by the Department of Homeland Security, the government is urging the public to prepare for up to 6 months without electricity, transportation, fuel, money, and health care. Now, it's not that terrifying, Mark, because they've already told
for
us
somebody
that
for somebody like me who does a prepper thing. Yeah, absolutely. That's really, really interesting. Is that something you could email me?
Yeah. Actually, all you have to do is just go to offthegridsurvival.com. Mm-hmm. And or Jeff Rentz over on Rentz, he's got the article put up, and he's got it linked into offthegridsurvival.com. But what's really scary is that the government's already told us that, and somebody's already done a study, that 12 months without electricity in the United States would basically equal up to 85 to 90% of the population would perish.
Yeah.
So for them to come out, and it goes on in this article, usually they tell you, get ready for 2 weeks, have 3 days of food on hand. Those are all the other different things, but for them to actually now come out within the last 24 hours and say, look, to get ready for 6 months without electricity, transportation, fuel, money, really? Money, and health care. It's got to be terrifying. So,
that is
anyways,
interesting.
Mark, I wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah, change your life. Okay, thanks, Mark. Always a great show.
All right, thanks, man. All right. Okay. Let's jump over to, seriously, guys, if you guys want a free prepper guide, just email me. It's called Empty Shelves. I will send it to you and take it very seriously. Always good to have something prepped on hand. I mean, I'm not going to say run for the hills tomorrow, but it's always good. Look, you'll sleep better at night. All right, we're going to jump to 980 area code, then we're going to go up to New York, then we're going to go down to California. I think we can squeeze them all in. So let's do 980. You're on with Strange World. What's happening?
Zen Garcia, love your work.
This is not Secrets Revealed by Zen Garcia. He is on a completely different night, ma'am. You might want to try calling in. I'm believe.
Kidding. Hey.
I think he's on Wednesdays. But check your local listings.
Orange, you glad I didn't say Paul?
Oh, you mixed a knock-knock joke into that. Wow. You are clever. And
I'm giving Wes a run for his money.
I could. There's like half a dozen insults I could throw out there to say fill in the blank here could give Wes a run for his money, but no. You are orders of magnitude above Wes in many areas. So, and Wes can do nothing about it because you can outshoot him as well. I guarantee it. Anything else?
Oh, for the woman who called earlier asking about Michael Tellinger, I don't know if you said this or not, but he did address Flat Earth, and he did a whole presentation where he basically tied up all the research and everything that he's done into Flat Earth, and he wasn't like saying, hey, the Earth is flat. He was like, it was like him doing a presentation to everybody that follows him saying, hey, look, we should all look at this because there's some really solid evidence here.
I probably watched it.
An hour and a half long.
All right. I'll look it up. Somebody send me the link to that. I know Peanut Gallery is probably scrambling right now. It's like, oh yeah. Oh, by the way, look.
Okay, and I got somebody else. I got someone here that wants to say hi to you real quick.
Hi. Who is this? What is your name? Say that one more time.
I'm Jariana, and I am a flat earther. I am my mama's daughter.
Wow. Probably the youngest flat earther to date. How old is this lovely young girl?
She's 6.
Wow. Yeah, 6-year-old flat earther. There you go. See anybody top that? It's great. Somebody turned that little quote, that her high pitched quote, into a techno song, like they have with other people. That's awesome. Thank you. Awesome. That's really, really great. Hey, I have a quote for you from the Peanut Gallery. A lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on. And that's from Winston Churchill. Yeah.
I thought it was before the lie has a chance to tie its shoes.
It could be either. Honestly, I don't know. But it's true. I get it. Which is, yeah, you can. Well, but that's especially true now. And Churchill said that back in the 40s. With social media, you can condemn somebody, you can bury somebody before they're, it used to be, in court, innocent until proven guilty. Nah, not with social media. It is, you are damned before proven innocent. It is, you're cursed. There's nothing you can do. Try to bounce back from accusations. Hopefully I'm never under that gun. Anyway, anything else I can do for you?
Shout out to Ace McLeod.
Right on.
That's about it.
Ace has a problem with me every once in a while. I don't know why. He but that's fine. Art through adversity.
No, Ace doesn't have a problem with you.
Yeah, he does every once in a while. I see comments. He throws some barbs in comments. People don't know that there's a lot of chat rooms I will poke my head into, but I won't say anything. I'm just kind of lurking in the background, just to see if anybody.
Ace has an interesting sense of humor.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of those guys that if you played a practical joke on me, I would go berserk. And I am not a fan of practical jokes. The show Punked and the show Jackass, mostly Punked. Don't just word of the wise, people. If you're gonna punk me, make sure it's not a solid punk. You guys, you want to call me Paul and Zen Garcia tonight, that's fine, but yeah, don't take it too far, especially not if I have guns around or you're next to a ledge or a balcony. Anyway, that being said,
I'll have to keep that in mind for Asheville.
Yes, please do. Yeah, and we're still working. Yeah, don't no. Yeah, don't. Yeah, if I wake, no, I mean it's okay. If I wake up with somebody drawing Sharpies all over me, which would never ever happen, that's fine. You could probably get away with that. I don't know. I'm weird that way. Anyway, I've got to pick up a few more calls before I pack this one in. So, hey, and you're going to be at the after thing, right?
Oh yes, of course.
I have to ask. It's in my contract. All right. Hey, we'll talk soon. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump over to 845 area code. Ready for it? Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it.
New York, New York.
There you go.
Hey, how you doing this evening?
Good.
What is this Zulu 1, Shauna Collins, and the other guy, Brian Burton, at night school?
You get that out of the way early.
Paul. I didn't want to say Paul either.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks.
Too funny.
Peanut Gallery says, when everything is coming your way, you're in the wrong lane. That's good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Stephen Wright said that.
No doubt. How are
legendary
you?
Comedian. I'm good. How are your vagabond shoes?
Not too bad, not too bad. Oh, I forgot to say it. Sorry. Yeah.
You don't have to say it every time.
Oh well.
You'll live.
Oh well.
That's all right.
That's all right. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that guy, Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty ballsy thing to say,
Yeah, mid season. Well, I should say we're in the second half of the season. The Golden State Warriors are the top of their game, and they're odds-on favorites to win the NBA title, and he is the starting point guard for the best team in the NBA. He comes out and says, "Oh yeah, moon mission." He wasn't even wavering. Nope, nah, didn't happen. It's like
they were all like, nope.
Why would you? Why, again, what we were talking about recently, where it's like, why would he? I mean, look, guys, I'm a generation ahead of him, and I am old enough to. I mean, I was when the moon mission. I was born when the moon mission came out. When I was like a year old. Yeah. So I didn't even see it live. So we are 2 generations distant. So anybody that's 25, why would they even begin to believe in the moon mission? That's just something you read about. It might as well be the Louisiana Purchase. It might as well be just some obscure thing of history. Oh yeah, by the way, they used to make Model Ts. Might as well be that. Really? Yeah. Which is
crazy.
Why that one physicist, where she says, "Yeah, do it again." That's the thing. That is one of the things that really, really, I don't care if you're a NASA fanboy at night or not. You've got to admit it. Which is, look, you haven't done anything recently. You haven't. I mean, not for a long time.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, what have you done for me lately? Meaning, what has NASA done anywhere near the moon? Where's our moon base? Where's the moon base? It's not there. We don't do it. We don't even talk about it. Oh, yeah, every once in a while, someone will say a story. We're going back to the moon. Look at the wonderful montage that was put together by our guys saying basically every president since, I think it was Reagan, going all the way, every president has said the same thing. Oh, yeah, we're going to commit. We're going to go back to the moon. Every single one has said it in their speeches. And I know part of it's for NASA funding, but the other part of it is because they want to remind people, and people keep forgetting. It's like, oh, yeah, weren't we supposed to go back? Yeah, you were. And so are the other countries. I don't know, the countries like China. Why aren't they there? Russia, the Europeans, Japan. Why aren't they there? India, they have a space program, apparently. Why isn't anybody going there?
Where's the Moon Hotel?
Where's the Moon Hotel?
Bases?
Where's Moonbase Alpha?
Yeah.
Where's Space 1999? It's not there.
Yes.
I know, right? That was a thing.
It should all be there.
Should
all be there.
You guys don't remember, there was a show in the 1970s called Space 1999 where we had an established moon base already in the 90s with hundreds of people.
Yeah.
All right. And Richard Hoagland built his entire conspiracy career on the fact saying that that the government is hiding millions of people on the moon. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I know. Hey, I got a quote for you.
Yeah, we got.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
My gravest secret is that I really did fake the moon landing on Venus. That was Richard M. Nixon's head in Futurama.
Wow.
I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's so true. It's all smoke and mirrors.
It's all smoke and mirrors. I mean, Elon Musk coming out and saying just recently that there's a 70% chance. How did he come up with these odds? 70% chance that he's going to retire on Mars. It's like, what?
Oh my goodness!
It's like you haven't done anything. I mean, people. I said it last week.
I want to buy an acre.
I mean, exactly. I mean, the New York Post. Somebody in journalism got it. They had willing to. They had the nerve to do this. The New York Post ran a story this year that says, literally, the headline was "Elon Musk is a total fraud," and it said everything that I wanted him to say, which was. Elon talks a lot of crap about everything. He makes just these horribly, unbelievably lofty headlines all the time. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. He never does anything. He never does any of these. I heard a thing just last week where he said he was going to go out and buy some of the failing GM plants. Really? That's what you're going to do?
Yeah.
And build what? Okay. More Teslas that nobody's going to buy? That's what you're going to build? What do you do with those plants exactly out there? You're gonna hire a whole bunch of people? People are gonna move back to Detroit? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway, did you watch
something by the way, about Ready Player One?
Yeah, Ready Player One.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Ready Player One.
Real quick. Remember the floor that he was the omnidirectional floor that he ran on?
Yeah.
To play the game, to be immersed into the game and run. That exists. For real.
Oh,
I was like, whoa, I saw it in the video. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was good. Did you see the National Geographic thing?
No, I did not yet see it. I am dying because it wouldn't play on my phone and I didn't have a chance to watch it on the computer.
Yeah. Well, you could also, if you have cable on your television, you could watch it on your television as well.
Oh, okay. It's on
just,
demand, probably. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just go to the National Geographic channel and it'll be Explore.
Yeah.
And again,
I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be favorable. I mean, it's National Geographic.
Yeah, it's a
hit. A spaceman, an astronaut on their cover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. National Geographic. People forget because, again, the space program is that old. Look up some of your parents' and grandparents' National Geographic collection. They cover the space program nonstop from the 60s all the way until 72. They ran NASA stuff.
Yeah, it was they had exclusive rights or something.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they had the inside scoop on everything. Why wouldn't they? That and Popular Science, but Popular Science doesn't have a television channel. So this is the next best thing, right. and it's a hit piece. And they can only do so much, and it's amazing for a science-based channel how little scientific explanations there were. It was just rhetoric. That's all it was. A theoretical physicist and an opinion of a few journalists saying that, oh yeah, these guys will take us back to the Dark Ages. And to that I say, death to all who oppose us. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
They'll rue the day for saying that. Anyway, what else you got? Because I do want to pick up Dan the Waterman before.
Hey, you
go ahead.
All right, real quick. Sorry, just because you said that beat a 6-year-old. Ace McLeod said his baby isn't even born yet, and he's a flat earther, so he wins.
Of course.
Freaking Ace, he was awesome, dude. He was so much fun.
Cool.
Cool. I can't wait till this thing in April. Instead of be on a freaking Saturday.
We'll make sure it's on a Saturday. No worries, man. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'll drive down. Definitely.
Cool.
I'll grab Larry, and we'll drive down.
Yeah.
All right.
It should be fun. All right, man. We will.
Awesome. Keep up the good job.
All right. We'll talk.
Shout out to everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya. All right. So let's grab. I know we're going to grab at least one more. We may grab up one after this. Maybe one. Two calls tops. So, and Peanut Gallery's chomping at me again. Oh, Morgan Freeman impression. Sorry. I'll have to do it. He'll have to do it after hours. We don't have time. Yes, Wes, I see that Morgan Freeman impression. Come on, man. We got calls to take. All right. Could this be the last call? Maybe. We'll see. 818. This is got to be Dan the Waterman.
Of course. Hey, it's running again at 1 a.m. our time tonight. It is National Geographic Explorer. The episode is called Space Race, Season 11, Episode 5. And I wasn't in it. But I signed a release, and I think it was because they used one of my quotes, and I was excited to see that. As the quote is on paper, it says, "The flat Earth is the proof. The truth will get out there, and the flat Earth is our billboard."
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah. I do remember. Yeah, that thing that was on the table. Yep. I do remember that.
Yeah.
And yeah, hell, man, they cut a lot of stuff out of that. I mean, you watched it. It was amazing, considering they shot for 2 days straight. They whittled it down to 10 minutes, and the water test stuff was it's horrible.
Just the basic difference between real life and how life is portrayed is amazing in general.
Yeah. How what they could do with editing.
Everyone wants.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and we knew it was coming. I basically saw the script before you got there about the handshake and that crap.
Right.
And it was going to be delivered the way it was delivered, and based on that, it's fine. It's really fine. And
sure. It's just
like you told me, it's going to get worse when it comes to making us problematic.
Yeah, I mean the movie, the overtones were a little heavy. I think Dark Ages, destroy science, threat to civilization, threat to medicine, that sort of stuff. And it's like, all right, I think you might be. But then again, if they're not going to say it, who is? Part of the reason they made that piece was because they knew that science was not putting up a defense against us, and they were hoping that this could kind of rattle some cages. Like, look, science, you better do something, because these guys aren't going away.
At least you got that word straight in. You go, they got nothing. You told them straight up. You go, they got nothing.
Yeah, I was amazed they left that part in there.
I want to give you, it wasn't horrible. I mean, I will call them gatekeepers. I will go that far. I mean, it was horrible to that extent.
Sure.
That they're gatekeepers, no doubt, gatekeepers of the globe.
Right.
And so, that being said, I want to thank you for having your patience through this. We're getting an opportunity to get more interest now, and this whole thing's blossoming. And now I hate to say it, for us, it's going to be like starting over, because everyone that comes around is going to be like you've been for the past 2.5 years with radio, is explaining what they believe.
Right.
And I'm not looking forward to it. I don't know how to get around it. But I don't want to spend 2 years explaining to them what they already don't understand. I got better things to do.
Yeah.
So speaking of better things to do, fortunately, I found an outlet for that with the thing we do here called Flat Earth Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hell of a lot of fun. And we had guests, like I really just visioned it, and it already happened. We had people come in last week from Nathan Thompson was in town. Bling Bing DS of the ISS was in town. Snack for the Future was in town. And it was exciting. I want to just make sure to extend an invitation to anyone that can get to Los Angeles. We're trying, weather permitting, we're here every Saturday, and we're hoping that everyone can participate when they have time during next year.
What is the best? What is your best contact info so that people can track you down for this?
There's a new meetup group, and I just typed it in. When I typed in meetup Los Angeles Flat Earth, it came up as the SoCal Flat Earth meetup group. Other than that, look through Flat Earth Hollywood at YouTube.
Right on.
And of course, we're doing it live Saturday nights on Poncho Beat.
Cool. That's really great. Hey, by the way, I've got to ask you, because I know that you didn't do it before, but you said, oh, you may not, and that is, now that the documentary is out, have you seen it?
In its entirety, no, I have not. But I saw
Dude, it's out. You can get it now. It's on Amazon and iTunes and Google. No, you can, just so you know. I mean, I'm just saying, because you're in it. Right, you're actually in that. That's what I think is funny, is that Nat, you were at the Arcadia meetup, and Nat Geo, you weren't. The only thing it was in was a sign, but you were in the documentary, and you haven't seen it yet. You're one of the few people, I think, that was in the documentary that hasn't actually watched it.
No, but I mean, I've seen that part. I have that part. I bagged that.
Well, I know, but you haven't seen it in high def. So I'm just saying.
It's sort of the Mark Sargent story.
Well, I know, but it's nothing I could do about that. I mean, I knew when I was there for 75% of the shooting that I was going to be in a lot of it. I did not realize though that they were just going to use so much of my narrative, and it's like, okay, well, apparently I'm the protagonist, and so.
I need to give a shout out again to Chris Pontius, who we always refer to as Chris Pontius, but it is flatearthmodels.com. He's literally put me on the map in a position to show off a potential model of what we're working with. It's visual and inviting, and I invite any group to do it. It opens up indoors at night, and you don't have to have giant banners to have people coming up to you.
Make sure, Chris, send him the link. Make sure he gets to see, because his model is shown very, very well in the National Geographic spot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you and I are sort of still in it. Go ahead.
20 seconds.
Oh, soft rollout still, and the lab coat. Love the lab coat. Thank you so much. Smart. Be smart.
All right, man. Well, with that, we're going to wind up the show. Music's kicking in, and I will be here next week. Same flat time, same flat channel. Check us out.
Thank you. We all love you a lot.
See you, man. Bye-bye.
great honor and privilege for us to be here representing not only the United